So, yay, thank you guys all for joining me tonight for our virtual happy hour. I hope you all have your bottle of wine ready, maybe a snack, you have your glasses. We are going to, I'm gonna teach you guys a lot of really interesting information about wine. Some of it I learned while I was in Italy almost 2 years ago, went on a wine tasting tour. Some of it I've read and learned on, I read a lot on Wine Enthusiast. So some of the stuff that I teach you tonight will be from both of my trip, my own personal experiences, and then things that I've been reading on Wine Enthusiast by other wine writers. So let's get started. I am going to introduce you guys to WTSO. It's a company, WTSO stands for Wines Till Sold Out. It's my current partnership with this online wine company, online wine community. I am hoping that they are on watching. So every week, one of the perks of being a member of WTSO is that every week they have these tasting bundles that are available for 1 week only, and only until those bottles are sold out, hence the name. So right now, the tasting bundle that is available, it is 3 wines from Laurent Perrichon. I'm probably butchering that. It's a French wine, it's in France. Laurent Perrichon Winery. It's 3 bottles for $44.99. You get a champagne, a white, and a red. So 3 really nice bottles of French wine for just $44.99. They are still available right now on WTSO. I will put a link in the comments at the end, along with my code that gets you $10 off a purchase of $50 or more. And these 3 wines will only be available till they're either sold out or through Sunday. And then Monday, we'll start a whole new tasting. So tonight, I am going to teach you guys the 5 S's of wine tasting. And if you've probably heard of it, it's the sip, swirl, I'm going out of order for now, but if you've never actually been to a wine tasting where they go through each of these every time, it's interesting. I did it while I was in Italy. I learned a lot about how to properly taste and get the most out of your experience with wines. But the very first thing I want to go through with you guys is something that I find really interesting in that, and it's the same thing with beers and other cocktails and liqueurs. There's a glass for everything, right? If you're a bartender, you know this. There's a specific glass for, the signature cocktails, classic cocktails. There's all specific glasses that go with your drinks. So for our champagne tonight, typically, and the most popular thing that people will pick when they're drinking anything bubbles is a flute, champagne flute. And you can see here, I saw Jilly's on. Jill got me these Take a Bite Out of Boca champagne flutes for my birthday 2 years ago, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. Loved them. So I just wanted to show that off tonight. But just in case you didn't know, there is probably kind of a better alternative to a champagne flute for your champagne, or any type of a bubble, any type of sparkling wine, whether it's a Prosecco, a Cava, champagne, a sect, whatever it is that you're drinking, any type of a sparkling. Some wine experts will suggest and recommend using a white wine glass or a universal wine glass, or even something like a coupe or a tulip-shaped wine glass. And this is because it allows the bubbles to flow longer and more freely, and it lets the aroma and it lets it shine and be more intense. Because of a wine flute is, and I'm sure you know, it's skinnier, it's thinner, it confines the bubbles. So using a white wine glass or a tulip-shaped wine glass, which I don't have, otherwise I'd show you, or a coupe, is a little bit better to allow for the bubbles to flow and the aroma to really shine through, and you get the most out of your champagne. This is what we'll be using for our white wine glass tonight, and for our red. A little bit more about choosing the bowl size. A smaller bowl sorry, I have my notes down here, that's why I keep looking down. A smaller bowl makes it harder for the aromas to escape from the wine, so they stay confined in. Like I was saying with the bubbles here, but with the champagne, you do want those bubbles to flow and last long. So that's what a smaller bowl would be for. Also, a larger bowl allows more oxygen. It aerates the wine more, allows more oxygen to come in contact with the wine. Plus, with a larger bowl, if you swirl it, it's kind of a prettier, it's more appealing looking at. So, if you have a variety of wine glasses tonight, depending on what you're drinking, if you're drinking champagne with me, or if you're drinking white, if you're drinking red, choose your glass accordingly. Another thing that people like to know the difference about is stem versus stemless, which is better, what makes for a better experience with your wine. Personally, I prefer a stem. The proper way to hold your glass is by the stem, not by the bowl. This is because if you do hold your glass by the bowl, your temperature from your hand will warm up the wine. It'll increase the temperature of the wine. And if you have gone ahead and worked hard, if you have a wine fridge or a wine cooler or a wine cellar or whatever it is where you are actually keeping your wines at the correct temperatures, you don't want to jeopardize that, and you want to really keep the integrity of the wine, and when you use your hand, it will increase the temperature. So, a stemless glass is fun for, a cocktail, or maybe if you don't really care about the temperature or whatever, but like I have a fun one, rosé all day, I got with a FabFitFun box a while back. But when I really want to enjoy my wine, I don't usually use a stemless. I always prefer stem. So whatever you guys choose, it's totally up to you. If you, I don't know, let me know what you guys are drinking too. Send a message or, comment or with a photo if you can. Tell me what you're drinking. Are you drinking red? Are you drinking white? I want to know what you guys are sharing with me tonight. So we are going to go ahead and start with our tasting. So the first of the 5 S's is C. I'm going to start with I will taste the white with you guys tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the white. So it's 100% Chardonnay, this particular wine. It is from the Burgundy region of France, and it is a Beaujolais Blanc, 100% Chardonnay. I'm going to get these glasses out of the way actually so I don't spill, because knowing me, I will. All right, is anybody else drinking what? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I just totally didn't see any of these. Yes, Maggie, work out all morning so we can drink wine at night. Duh, that's how we do it. All right, so we're gonna pour this white. The first thing, can you guys see the bottle? Just in case. This is what we're drinking right now. I think Instagram can see more. All right, so we're looking at our wine first. You can kind of swirl it around. You want to look for the color. The color of your wine can tell a lot about its age. It tells a lot about the concentration in the body and the overall style of the wine. So this particular wine, like I said, it's 100% Chardonnay, and it is a pale, they call it a lemon. It's a pale lemon, and it's clear. White wine actually gains color with age, so an older white will be more maybe opaque or more yellow. A red loses color as it ages. Hi, Rebecca, yes, thanks for joining the party. Okay, so now we move on to, after you look at the wine, you kind of look at the color, see what you're dealing with. This is I think it's a 2018, yes, 2018, so it's just 2 years old. It is, like I was saying, it's paler, so it hasn't aged too much. After we look and see, we then swirl. Now we swirl, sorry, we don't swirl in the beginning. Now we swirl. This actually aerates the wine, allows oxygen to open it up, intensify its aroma, its flavor, everything about it. If you've been out to fancier restaurants, when they come over and ask you what you want to drink, I feel like this is like, makes you look like you know what you're doing. When they pour your little sample before pouring the rest of the glass, and for everyone else, if you swirl it a little bit, you kind of look like you know what you're doing. Just a little bit of advice. So after we swirl, we then sniff or smell. And one of the things that I learned in Italy was that when you smell the wine, like get all up in your glass. They told us you want to smell from the opposite side of the glass. So you're not smelling from the side that's by your face, not like this. Because then you don't just smell with your nose, you smell with your mouth. And that's what they taught us when I was in Italy doing these tastings. So when you smell from the opposite side of your glass, open your mouth while you're taking in the smell. You'll see the difference. If you smell the side close to you with your mouth closed, it's not as intense. You might not really get the notes that you will get if you open up your mouth and breathe in from the opposite side. So if you aren't getting too much of a smell or anything, and you want to give it a little bit of a swirl again, like I said, the swirl opens up the aromas and will allow the sense to intensify. So we're bringing that in, we're smelling. This wine smells, I have all my tasting notes. It's the first thing that they note that with the smell of this is lemon curd and baked golden apple with brioche and white blossom. If that doesn't describe like the most delicious smelling dessert, I don't know what does. So, actually I do get the lemon and the baked good from it. Like I feel like I should be eating like an apple pie. It's very crisp, very, very light, and I'm very excited to try it, even though normally I'm not a Chardonnay fan. However, in the past when I've tried French Chardonnays, I've always really enjoyed them. So there's something about the grape that is from that region of the world versus other regions where I wasn't a huge fan of the Chardonnays. Spidey likes burgers. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard from you on Insta in a long time. Great to see you. All right, now we finally can sip. The fourth S is the sip. So, when you sip, swirl it around your mouth, swish it around, almost like mouthwash. Swish it, swoosh it around your mouth. That way you can make sure that it's really coating your entire tongue and getting all of your taste buds. You can also suck in air while you're sipping. You might see like wine experts or somms or people when they're doing real tastings do that. Sometimes it's gross, but I'll show you what I mean. Suck in a little bit of the air. It, again, allows you to get more taste of it throughout your mouth. Angela, I don't think I know that wine, Porch Pounder. I haven't had that. I'll have to look it up. So now when you're tasting, there's a lot of different aspects of the wine that you want to think about. You want to think about how sweet it is. Is it sweet or is it dry? You want to think about the acidity, the bitterness, the tannins, and then overall how it feels. Was it one, Angela, was one of the wines we did when you did the tasting? Don't really remember. Well, I'll have to jog my memory later. So you want to really, really, really pay attention to the acidity, bitterness, the sweetness, how if it makes your mouth pucker, if it's a bit sour, or not sour, but I can't think of the word right now. But this, yeah, the bitterness and the acidity and the sweetness. So this particular wine, just like with the smell, its taste is baked golden apple, bruised pear, which would be like, I guess the bruised part, which is, it's not, it's ripe. Steel minerality, toast, lemon zest, and it is a drier wine and it is acidic. What's cool about WTSO is that when they send you the wines for this weekly tasting, they send you all of these tasting notes. They also send you recipe pairing ideas. And what I find really interesting is the pairing for this wine. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. I'm really sorry. I was reading the wrong notes. So it still does have the apple. I was looking at the Chardonnay. I'm sorry. I was supposed to start with I was looking at the champagne. I'm sorry. Oops. Anyway, it does have that apple taste, which I did say was very apparent. But also apple blossom, a little bit of, it is the apple and the lemon, but as well, there's also a little bit of pineapple and banana to this, and a little white peach. It is still dry and it is acidic, just like the champagne is as well. But this one, aside from the apple and lemon, it also has notes of banana and pineapple. The recipe to go with this particular wine is an Italian dish, a spaghetti with garlic, oil, and lemon. The spaghetti aglio, olio, e limone. Did I say that right? Any Italians out there? A nice crisp white wine like this will go really nicely with a spaghetti, a very light spaghetti dish with just, simple garlic, lemon, and oil. Actually, that sounds really delicious right now. If anyone needs dinner inspiration, there you go. So, anybody have any questions? Let's look. Okay, Thurston, I'll look into that. I have not had that before. Angela, good for drinking on the porch. Yes, this definitely compares to that then. This is like super crisp and super light. Like I could definitely sit outside right now. It's 1,000 degrees outside and a wine like this would be perfect. So I'm gonna set that aside and I wanna tell you guys a little bit more about the other two that we've got going on here. Like I already told you earlier, this is the champagne. Again, I'll show you the label. And this one is 100% Chardonnay from the Burgundy region of France. The first one was from the Beaujolais region of France. Rebecca, my sister, Rebecca. Rebecca was up. Are you on here? Did I say that right? Beaujolais? Hopefully, I thought she was, maybe not. Anyway, 100% Chardonnay from this, the champagne is from the Burgundy region of France. This one is that pale, clear, yeah, Carly could tell us. Anyway, this one has the lemon curd, that baked apple flavor and smell. It also is dry and acidic. And this one, WTSO suggests pairing it with buttermilk fried chicken. So that's an interesting pairing. Sometimes the recipes, they have master somms that put these tasting packs together and put out the recipe pairings. So, they are coming from professionals. We also have the red, which is also from somebody pronounced it for me, the Beaujolais. Beaujolais? God, I should go to France. Or maybe at least take a lesson. But here's the label for the red one. And this is 100% Gamay. It is Yeah, 100%. This is also a 2018. I'm gonna pour some of this one so you guys can see the color. It says it's a pale purple and clear. And like I mentioned earlier, red wines, they lose color as they age, and this is still pretty, it's a pretty color actually. I always like to look at the colors of red wines. The label is backward. Oh, that's just because, oh, I guess, yeah. You're right, Dad. Good call. Maggie, next chicken and waffle brunch. Yes, you guys need some champagne for your next chicken and waffle. Maggie Hansen, Maggie and our friends Roger and my friend Maggie and Segev hosted a black tie brunch for us this past Sunday where we got all dressed up and had a virtual Zoom brunch. So get creative with your Zooms, people. You can have a lot of fun with it while you're at home. Back to the drawing board. So we're gonna taste this one. I didn't go through all this thing. So I'm seeing it, like we said, it's the pale purple, it's clear. Now we're gonna smell. Let's see the legs. Angela wants to see the legs. Legs are, so when you swirl, which would be our next thing, if you can see the glass, it's kind of hard to see. But when you swirl your own red, you can see where the wine kind of leaves a mark on the end on your glasses, and those are called legs. It'll start to drip. The little drips down the side are called legs. Now we're gonna smell. Oh my God, that is absolutely delicious. Sarah, no, I do not have a Riesling that I'll be tasting tonight. I'm sorry. I'm sure WTSO might have, could have one on their site if you want. I will put the link, like I said, I'll put the link to WTSO in the comments at the end of the video. But no, I do not have a Riesling tonight. I'm not a huge Riesling fan unless it's a dry Riesling. I don't really like sweet. So the taste on this particular red, it's black cherry, which is exactly what I tasted in the beginning. It's got like that tart, lip puckering cherry taste to it, sweet spice, dried violet, bay leaf. It is a dry wine, and it has medium acidity. The smell, the notes that they gave me, black cherry yogurt, grape bubble gum, sweet cinnamon, violet, and anise. So this is a really nice red wine. Again, I will link to this tasting pack in I know it's backwards, but it's backwards on, is it backwards on Facebook? It's backwards on Instagram, but I don't think it's not backwards on Facebook. That's weird. I wonder what the difference is. Anyway, the recipe that they suggest to pair with this red is a white bean and ham hock stew. So so when you order these weekly tastings, you get the recipe notes, you get the tasting notes and you get recipes, which is always nice to have some recipe inspiration. Now the final S, some places say, it really depends where you are and what's appropriate. It could be simply just, Kung Fu Girl. I've had that. And why do I feel like I have had it with sushi, Jason? I like it isn't too dry back. I like it. That is a Riesling that I'll drink. I like reading. I'm glad that you guys are drinking along with me. Maggie, the Malbec, nice. I like a good Malbec, actually. So sorry, I keep getting distracted. The fifth and final S can be simply just to savor. Really take in the wine. If you are like dying to go back for that second sip, pour yourself a glass and savor it. Some places will say swallow, just, no matter what. And then a lot of places, depending on how much wine you're tasting and where you are, will be spit. So I learned that particular S while I was in Italy because, no joke, we were tasting hundreds of wines. We probably tasted over 100 wines in a day. And you can't swallow all of them. I mean, most of them, there were definitely some sips where I was like, yes, I want to drink that. I want another sip. But there were so many and right after the other that no matter where you were, there was always, you had a spit bucket, essentially, as gross as that sounds. But yes. So instead of swallowing, you take the sip, swish it around your mouth, really get the flavor. You're still getting the flavor. You're not losing anything when you spit. You just aren't ingesting it. So depending on how comfortable you are, where you are, how much wine you're drinking, what the protocol is, and what's kind of expected wherever you are, the final S is up to you. You be the judge. So I think I'm gonna keep this one for now. And I don't know if you can see it on Facebook, but for Instagram, I'm gonna pour the champagne into the coupe glass just so you can see it. I had the coupe glass out and Roger was like, "Why? What do you need that for? You're drinking wine." So he normally makes his like Aperol spritzes or whatever else in these, but you can use it for champagne too, which I might do from now on. What happened to the white? All right. So we've got our champagne, our white, and our red. And is anybody drinking champagne? Or I know we've got a Malbec, we've got, I don't know. But whatever you are drinking, enjoy it. Hopefully you learned a little bit about the art of wine tasting and how to choose glasses, and maybe next time you drink sparkling, you'll branch out of a flute and use a coupe or a white wine glass. I don't have any of the tulip shaped, but I do need to get those because those are actually my favorite. And enjoy your wine.